Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Walker Venrick with Sharp Sports Network, bringing you my top 3 plays for this January 14th 6-game NBA slate. This is going to be an awesome slate tonight. We have quite a few significant studs that are going to miss this game. That is definitely going to steer some people in certain directions. So without further ado, though, let's jump right into this one. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. We greatly appreciate your support as always. And if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns for us, please leave them in the comment section below. Whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, any DFS sites, or season-long fantasy questions, we are happy to give y'all advice when we can. Now, jumping right into this, we're going to start off over here on DraftKings. The very first player that I want to talk to you guys about today is going to be a point guard, and he is, in my opinion, pretty underpriced for where I think that he should be, and that is going to be Ja Morant at 7.6K playing for this Memphis Grizzlies team in the highest implied game total on the slate at 238 against Houston. Ja Morant has a 29% usage rate so far on the year, and he should be very involved in one of the fastest-paced games that we can get. In reality, Houston ranks second in pace right now, and I absolutely love Morant in a pace-up spot like this, but even more so against a team like Houston, who's without Russell Westbrook. The Rockets allow the 7th most fantasy points per game on average to opposing point guards in the league right now, but without Westbrook, I think they'll struggle to defend a well-rounded point guard like Ja Morant even more so. I like a lot of the guys in this game, and I know most of the field probably does too, but we get some good value with Westbrook out, and Ja Morant's averaging over 1.31 fantasy points per minute over the last 5-game stint. It's just it's beyond appealing to me. I think he's going to surprise some people tonight, though. I think he's really going to flash a ceiling that a lot of people don't know that he has. He's been playing lights out lately, and this could be a seriously strong spot for him to kind of show the player that he's going to be in his future in the league. So I love Ja Morant tonight. But jumping over to FanDuel for my next play, you guys know, as always, I already have him pulled up over here. You probably guessed that this one was coming, and that is James the Beard Harden. James Harden has a 40% usage rate this season. I get it. That's a ridiculous number. But with Russell Westbrook off the court, Russell Westbrook, with him off the court, James Harden has a 47% usage rate. That number is tough for me to even comprehend. And then when you add in like a 46% assist percentage, I think it's 46% if you round down. I think it's a little over, but forget the decimal. 46% assist percentage, 47% usage rating overall. I mean, half of the opportunities that this Houston team gets, James Harden is going to end up getting turning the ball over, shooting the ball, or going to the free throw line. And then 46% of the time, he's going to be diming up a teammate. It's way too good of a spot for James Harden here with Russell Westbrook off the court for me to ignore him. I understand that he's priced up astronomically on DraftKings to about $13,000 over there, which is a large percent of your salary cap. That's 26% of your salary cap over there spent on one player, but we do have, again, quite a bit of value with Westbrook off the court. So I think that it is possible. I prefer James Harden in all formats on both sites, but I can see the argument on DraftKings to the point where maybe he's more of a tournament play. He's definitely not going to garner the ownership he did against Atlanta when Russell sat last time here on the 8th because his price tag was much more friendly in that matchup, but I will not be straying away from James Harden tonight. I think that thanks to that price tag, the ownership might be pretty low on DraftKings, and that's awesome. I think that's just pure edge to be had for a fantasy player playing against or a player like James Harden, who has true 90 fantasy point upside, but he's playing against Memphis, the 3rd fastest team in the league. Again, I already mentioned it with Ja Morant. This is about as fast of a game as we can get, and it's not Milwaukee, who is actually a really strong defensive team. Both of these teams are relatively lackluster. I absolutely love this spot for both of these guys. One interesting thing, though, Memphis has been scoring a ton of points. They've scored 117 or more points in their last 7 games, which is kind of interesting because at the end of the day, yeah, we have a 238 implied game total for this. This game is going to be a shootout. We all know that. It's going to be fast-paced, but it's also projected to be pretty competitive too. So James Harden's going to be relied on. And one thing that I also thought was interesting about James Harden is that in that Atlanta game, he put up 75 points here on FanDuel, I think like 81 on DraftKings. In that game, though, he didn't even shoot that was like one of his worst shooting performances of the season. If he even shot like his average in terms of his shot close percentage, it would have been like a 95, 100-point fantasy game. I can't get away from James Harden here. I understand the price tag is a little less attractive on DraftKings. It's really not going to scare me off of him. Even at 13K, we just need like 72 plus, which when I say only, James Harden is one of, if not the only player in the league where I would say only 72 fantasy points. I absolutely love him tonight. Sorry for blabbering about him. I just had to justify my thoughts on him. But jumping over to my last play over here on DraftKings, the last guy I want to talk to you guys about is going to be DeAndre Ayton. I talk about DeAndre Ayton quite a bit, and I think rightfully so since his return from his 25-game absence. But DeAndre Ayton has a 22% usage rate on the season and should see around 32 or 33 minutes tonight, I would think. Hopefully more. This game is projected to be really competitive here against the Hawks. I'm leaning towards the idea that Rubio is going to miss this game. We don't have any confirmation on that yet, but I think he will. And when he does, the Suns will either Okobo is going to start at the 1 or they're just going to put Booker at the 1 and maybe go Bridges at the 2. We're going to have to see what they do there. But regardless, Booker is definitely going to be facilitating this court a lot for the Suns. They have Ty Johnson and Eli Okobo, who could both do that too. And so I'm sure Booker will see quite a few minutes at the shooting guard position as usual. But I think he'll bring the ball up the court a lot, and when he doesn't, he is going to have the ball in his hands a ton offensively. He's definitely going to be the offensive leader, probably with DeAndre Ayton and or Kelly Oubre, sorry. But I think DeAndre Ayton's going to be relied on heavily here against Atlanta, and I think he's actually going to be very forgotten about tonight. I don't think he's going to be very popular at all at 7.8K. He hasn't hit value on this price tag in pretty much any of his last 3 games in terms of like 5X value. It's too good of a spot, though. He's playing against an Atlanta Hawks team that allows more fantasy points per game to opposing centers than any team in the league. And I know Ricky Rubio being out, most people probably think, that doesn't really help Ayton. Ricky Rubio's an assist monster. I get it. He's definitely dimed up Ayton plenty of times this year. But I'm not really worried about that. I think that DeAndre Ayton's going to be relied on heavily as a scorer tonight, and I think as a rebounder as well. He should have absolutely no issues. Alex Lynn has already been ruled out for this contest. It should be a very, very strong rebounding spot for a guy like DeAndre Ayton here. And then again, I think the real scoring opportunities are just going to be there. The 84-minute sample size, I think it is, or 83-minute sample size we have for DeAndre Ayton with Ricky Rubio off the court is not big enough or significant enough for me to really make a judgment on his performance with Rubio off the court. And it's actually showing like almost no difference in terms of Ayton's performance. But again, I don't think that's an accurate representation of how he's going to play with Rubio off the court because it is such a small sample size. So I'm really not straying away from DeAndre Ayton tonight. I think he's more of a GPP play for those of you that like to play the large field and single entry GPP contests because I think he is going to be relatively contrarian, but it is a smash spot for him, and I am definitely going to have my shares of him tonight. But that is all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching my video today. Your support has been awesome. I really, really do appreciate it. I say it every video, but I really do mean it. I will be streaming on Twitch in about 3 hours at around 4:30 Eastern. Make sure you come out to the live streams. Those have been crushing it. Those of you that watch these videos and come out there means the world to me. And if you have not come out there before, the link is in the description below. Again, right around 4:30 Eastern, I'll be live. Make sure you come on out. Get your questions answered live. It is a lot of fun, and I will see you guys there. And if I don't, then I will see you in my video tomorrow. Have a good one, and good luck playing the slate tonight.